Welcome to my kitchen where we are going to tackle a full reset and get life a little more put together because lately my kitchen has been feeling a little overwhelming. So today I'm doing a full reset. I'm cleaning out the fridge and freezer, clearing off the counters, doing a little simple produce prep, and turning what we already have into an easy, healthy dinner for my family of four. This isn't about perfection or starting over, it's just getting back on track and making the kitchen feel calm and functional again. I'll also be sharing a Costco haul and a simple meal to make dinner time feel a little less stressful. So if you're craving a fresh start in the kitchen and some gentle homemaking motivation, I'm really glad you're here. Let's reset together. In those weeks where I feel disorganized and scattered in the kitchen, I've learned a little reset and simple prep can make a big difference. Not just for meals, but when the kitchen is in order, I feel like our home feels like it too. Today, I'm sharing exactly what that looks like for us, so grab a warm cup of tea, and I hope you enjoy today's kitchen reset.
You can't turn the tide, let the water go where it wants to go. You can run and hide, you can bury yourself beneath the stone. Somebody told me don't pretend, 'cause everyone could use a friend sometimes. Take some good advice.
I feel like mid-January is when I start craving a little simplicity again, especially in the kitchen. Now that the holidays are over, I always notice that my kitchen is the first place that I gravitate to resetting again. Instead of big resolutions, I've been focusing on small intentional habits that make life easier, especially in the kitchen, like keeping my fridge clean and knowing exactly when and what we have on hand. Not only does it save money, it makes meal planning less stressful. Especially adding on a little prep and resetting the kitchen helps me slow down through the week, waste less food, and then just simply enjoy cooking again. Honestly, it may seem like a lot, but I find it really sets the tone for the rest of the week when the kitchen is reset. Because when it's not reset, I feel so lost. I feel like I have no idea what to make for dinner. My meals aren't planned, they're not prepped, and I just simply feel lost. So I find that starting with the kitchen, it really makes the entire home run smoother. Also, my husband just got this kettlebell for Christmas, so you can see him just in the background just swinging it because I find these workout pieces and kettlebells and just all sorts of toys scattered throughout my home. And honestly, as much as it can be mental clutter at times, I honestly wouldn't change it for the world because I truly love looking around and seeing that they have been having fun and my kids have been playing. And it really just makes me take a big breath that they are young, and it's just a time that is so special and so beautiful. But with that said, the kitchen I like to have clean and I like to have it reset. So that is what I'm doing. I am just starting with washing down the counters and washing down the fridge. I always start with the fridge first because I find that it's the most mental clutter is when the fridge is a disaster, especially when I'm bringing in new groceries. I like to have a clean slate that I can just simply put them into a beautiful, clean fridge.
Feel inside, that's how you break inside. You don't need to worry, somebody's waiting down the line to pick up the pieces. Hey, you'll be alright. I can feel the sun and how the wind makes way across the fields. Let me take a breath. Let me be a part of something real. Someone said it's better when you hold on to a helping hand. Sometimes friend. I'll use a friend. Don't let your fears.
I've always been so curious how others approach the new year. Do you set goals or make resolutions? Because I used to write out long lists of goals. And if I'm being honest, most of them never really got finished. I find that I used to look at the list at the end of the year and I would still have a ton of goals written out that I didn't even accomplish or even try to accomplish. But probably because most years I had over 20 goals written out. So I have realized that that method does not work for me. And for the past few years, I've simplified things. I started choosing one word to guide the year instead. So in the past, the word has been things like health or devotion. And rather than trying to change everything, I let that one word shape my habits and decisions throughout the year. So everything else still matters, of course, and there's always going to be obligations that's outside of that word that you're focusing on. But having a single focus helps me be more intentional in the everyday moments. So I am so curious if you do goals or if you make New Year's resolutions, or what do you start the year with? I feel like it already seems like a decade ago since it was Christmas, but we hosted over the holidays for a few family events, and it was so beautiful to host. I absolutely loved opening my home up to have everyone over and be able to serve beautiful food with good company. So I feel like I'm still resetting a little bit from that time, though. It does take several weeks almost to reset a home, but I think now I've just come to realize that it just takes everyday little moments to reset your home, and it's not going to be something that ever really stops. I feel like there's always going to be times that we need to reset and clean, and it's really a daily occurrence. So I find if we just try and simplify it as much as we can, but also just enjoy it and know that it's okay. Our house gets messy, and it's okay that it's messy sometimes as we're walking around. But if we can just throw in some good music and have our family come and help too, it makes it far more enjoyable.
So I just got back from Costco. It's a new day, obviously, but it is an ice storm out there right now too. It's like a sheet of ice everywhere. So luckily we got back in time before everything started freezing over. But I'll show you a few of the things that I got. I just did the spring mix just to toss into salads and then into even smoothies, things like that. And then also these grape tomatoes. I love just adding some olive oil on top of it, some garlic powder, and just serve on the side of my breakfast. And then I got a ton of ginger because I just got a ginger. I just got a ginger. I just got a juicer for Christmas, and I'm very excited to chuck in some ginger and doing maybe some lemon and some turmeric and make some ginger shots out of that. And then some kiwi, because kiwi is an excellent source of fiber. And going into my follicular phase, I love adding more fiber into that phase because it can help excrete and eliminate more estrogen. And then I also have some leafy greens, just like some microgreens. I love throwing on top of eggs, scrambled eggs, avocado toast, throwing it into smoothies. The options are endless with that. And then I just got some grapes. The kids love them, we love them. It's always a great source And then I also got some cucumbers. We go through cucumbers like crazy. We love to add some cream cheese on them or some hummus or just eating them plain. And lots of romaine. I'm thinking I'm going to do some chicken Caesar wraps for dinner or for lunches because we usually have just 3, but this one is a pack of 6, so I have to be creative. But I'm going to use it for some lettuce wraps. We can use it for tacos. We can use it for burgers. So many options with that. I can even throw it into smoothies. You can even freeze this and throw it into smoothies, but I do like it nice and fresh. And then some more raspberries, again with the fiber to help excrete and eliminate that estrogen, to help bind it and then excrete it through pooping. Because in the follicular phase, estrogen tends to be higher and we don't want it to be too high. So a nice way of hoping to eliminate the excess of it is by adding and incorporating some more fiber-rich foods. And then we got these. These are so good. My husband introduced me to these the last Costco run and they are absolutely delicious. So if you want a sweet treat, these are like a go-to from Costco. And then I also got these pita chips. This is a must. We get these every time we go to Costco. It's a fairly big bag, but we go through these like crazy. It's amazing on its own and also with hummus. And then just a simple Mills crackers, and the ingredients for these crackers are absolutely amazing. I am like a cracker-holic. I absolutely love crackers, so we always need to stock up on those when we go to Costco.
As for meats, I love grabbing them from Costco. I find Costco has amazing prices when it comes to grass-fed meat, and I just split it and place the meat in separate freezer bags, and it's so easy to grab them out for a simple dinner. And we've been on such a cheese kick lately, so you'll see a big brick of cheese, and we love it. We love putting it with crackers. We love shredding it into omelets. I love putting it into little egg muffins. Obviously, the options for cheese is endless, but another note I want to make about cheese is being a nutritionist, I often have clients come to me and say they need to be dairy free or they believe that they need to be dairy free. And I am here to remind you that if you are not having any sensitivities to dairy, or you're not allergic to dairy, or it doesn't bother you, you don't necessarily need to be dairy free. Obviously, it is so individualized. And if you are looking for nutrition consulting, then of course reach out to me and I would love to see if we are a good fit and I would love to help you out. But there is actually not studies when it comes to the effects of dairy and strictly to menstrual cycle health. So if you are dealing with any type of menstrual health irregularities, or issues with your period, or you're just not feeling well, then of course reach out to me. I have it all in the description box below, and I would love to connect with you and see if we are a good fit for one-to-one consulting. As I'm working through Funny how something as small as cutting up produce can feel grounding. There's something about working with my hands, moving at a slower pace that helps everything just feel like a little less noisy and feel a little quieter. This is usually the moment where I put on a podcast or I listen to some soft music. Right now, I've been really into podcasts. The one that I'm currently listening to is The Skinny Confidential. I feel like I'm always listening to that one. It has a broad set of topics, and it's just really fun and enjoyable to listen to. And I just let myself be present. There's no rushing, there's no multitasking. Well, some multitasking, of course, if my kiddos are with me and helping, I absolutely love that, but there is, of course, multitasking when it comes to that. But it is just simply enjoying what I am currently doing. So, I used to think prep had to be all or nothing, but I've learned that even a little bit goes a long way. Just a few containers in the fridge and just a few minutes of intention, and suddenly the week just feels way more manageable, and I don't feel so scattered. And this is also where I start thinking ahead to meals. So if I don't already have a meal plan put together, I just use this time for little gentle ideas like what would pair well together, what needs to be used first, and what will make dinner time easier on the nights that we're tired. So right now, I'm just going through the freezer because it is a bit of a mess. And of course, at the end, it doesn't look Pinterest aesthetically worthy, but it is just functional. I know it's in there. I know what meats to use up. I know what veggies are in there that I can use up. I know if there's any freezer prep meals that I can use up. And it just starts the week again more intentional. And having everything washed and ready makes cooking just feel less like a chore and more like something I actually look forward to again. And there are times that I most definitely get into ruts when it comes to cooking. And I find when I do these little resets, it just sparks up that new motivation. So that really does help with a kitchen reset. And even though it is just a small part of the reset when it comes to washing and prepping food and just organizing and going through what we have, it's one of my favorites because it is a quiet little reminder that caring for our homes doesn't have to be overwhelming. It can just be slow, simple, intentional, and you can make it even more enjoyable because those little moments of prep may just seem ordinary. And of course, it can seem redundant, but they really do set the tone for our days, and for me, that is time well spent.
My stretching out on my path, and moments are quicker than last. Time goes, I'm tired, and finding it harder to see the kindness you told us to be. I'm trying to hold, but I trust and know that you'll make a way. You'll make a
And I know some weeks this might seem like the last thing you want to do, especially in the middle of chaos and just feeling scattered. But I promise you, even just prepping some produce, like washing your fruit and veggies, having your meat on hand and ready to go in the freezer or the fridge, it really sets the tone for your week. And if you set yourself up properly at the beginning of the week, it makes such a drastic change for your mental health, for the chaos, for the scattered brain feeling throughout the week. So I promise if you just start with that, it is an excellent start.
So tonight we are making a super simple, homemade, like healthy version hamburger helper because we have been outside playing for most of the day in between just doing some kitchen reset stuff. So tonight I thought we'd make an easy meal because we just had so much fun playing outside in all of the amazing snow. So we are going to make that. It's my first time actually making this particular recipe, but I'll link it down below. But it sounds tasty and comforting, especially for a cold winter day. So let's get cooking and I'm sure it'll be delicious.
You'll make a way. You'll make a way. Come, kingdom of God. are true and kind. The boldness of our sacrifice, your heart shows love, standing by each other's side, and turning away from pride. We know we're letting go. You'll make a way. You'll make a way.
Speaking of prep, though, I will be completely honest and transparent. On those days when I am prepping and resetting the kitchen, honestly, the last thing I want to do is make a huge gourmet meal. So I really stick to a very simple, enjoyable, comforting meal on those days when I am just already in the kitchen all day. So today we were outside and we were playing, and it was actually quite cold outside. Here in Canada, it is middle of winter and it is full blown blizzards every single day. So we are coming in for a beautiful home cooked, warm, comforting meal. And today I'm making a homemade hamburger helper. And it's so simple to make. All you honestly have to do is just grate some cheese, lots of it because it's delicious. And you cook your meat, your beef, you chop some onions, throw that in with some garlic. You add some tomato paste and the pasta and some broth. And then you mix all the cheese in together and it makes for such a beautiful, warm, comforting dish. But I will have the full recipe linked down below, and I hope you guys give it a try. And if you do, I would love to know. I found this recipe over on a YouTube channel, but I'll link everything down below. And it is so comforting and delicious. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's little kitchen reset and you found some inspiration, even some dinner inspiration. And I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.